What is your American dream?
My American dream is just to be really happy and achieve whatever it is I've set out to achieve. I had a dream of coming to New York and I'm here now, and for me it's just achieving those dreams and having this sense of freedom and happiness that I did this.
My American dream is connecting with my family and my friends and just being a part of that and enjoying every moment as it comes.
This is my dream. I'm a happy woman in America, in New York. So, vive l'Amérique!
My American dream, personally, to continue doing what I'm doing for as long as I want to, as long as possible, in a way that I feel liberated and where I bring joy to other people.
My American dream, we just want to go out, keep that German work ethic, do as best as we can, contribute to society as much as possible and pass that on to our kids.
I'm living it. I'm very blessed to be doing what I do. I'm a singer. I have my own record. I have my music out. I feel very blessed to be here on the East River playing with this great band and living my dream.
Everyone has a right to the American dream. Welcome, everybody. It is Monday, May 24th, 2021. And you know what we do on Monday? It's Fuzzy Monday. We get very fuzzy with animals. Fuzzy animals. If you like fuzzy animals, stay tuned. Jonathan Yo-Yo Elias, Vanessa, Nesca Contreras. Are you in I don't ever asked you guys. We do Fuzzy Mondays, and everyone goes, oh, nice, cute. But I never asked you, it would be a very appropriate question. Do you even like animals? Do you love animals? Do you have animals? I don't even know any of this information.
I like animals.
You like animals?
I like animals. I'm a dog person.
Yeah.
And I love horses.
You love horses? Any particularly because I know a lot of women I speak to like the little mini horse. It's almost like a pony, but like the mini one.
I don't like those.
Or you like big race horses type, strong race horses.
Yeah, especially as kids in the Dominican Republic.
Do you have any pets at home, Vanessa?
Yes, but it's not mine.
Who's
my boyfriend's sister's dog?
Your boyfriend's sister's dog. So basically, you're dog sitting.
Yeah,
okay.
I actually am dog sitting.
You're dog sitting. What kind of dog?
Oh, it's just a Chihuahua mixed with a Yorkie.
Just like a little bow wow, right? Like a little bow wow wow.
Exactly what it is.
And I saw your face. You're like, oh, I don't like these tiny little dogs. Jonathan.
Yes.
You're an animal lover. I could already tell.
I am. Absolutely.
I know that.
Love animals.
I know that. Anybody with a smile like that, you gotta be an animal lover. I mean, I'm serious. He's always smiling. He's always happy. He's always loving. Always has his arm around his friends. You know, he's a warm guy. So I know he's gonna love animals.
Yes.
He's a dog sitter.
You sit.
I am a dog sitter.
I did not know that. What would you?
Well, my friend. Yeah, if they ever need me to sit for them, I always sit. Like I had my friend's dog. Remember Max with the crazy hair?
Yeah, he's dog sat on the show before.
Really? What am I doing while you're dog sitting? I didn't even realize.
Yes, remember I brought him to the screen and everything, and he looked like the like some comedian. I forget her name.
I vaguely remember. You know,
because he was barking, and I was like, "Be quiet, Max," and you're like, "Oh, bring him to the show. Bring him on the show." So I'll come over here, and
I do vaguely remember. We do so many shows; it's hard to remember all of them. And by the way, just for me, I'm sure you guys know this. The two dogs at the end were mine. unfortunately, the brown one, T-Bone, passed away. So, and we're only down to Lucky now.
I know.
Right.
Oh.
But I got to replace T-Bone. T-Bone never moved. His problem was he never exercised. So like even when you would take him for a walk, I would have to pick him up after 2 blocks. So this dog never exercised and ate all day and just got really fat and just one day just collapsed, unfortunately. But, you know, he only lived, he was a he only lived till he was 9. But he was a happy dog. No dog ate as well as this dog for 9 years. So although he didn't get his full life, he was a happy life for the 9 years as far as dogs are concerned.
That's all that matters.
Yes. All right, let's say hello. Well, anyway, stay tuned for Fuzzy Monday. Let's say hello to the squad. It's Pape Samuel. Hi, Brad. Squad up. Cordella Douglas, squad up. How are you? Day Hosea, squad up team. Olivia Love, Monday blessings to all of the squad. Carol Anderson, the tiger. I wonder who her favorite animal is. We would never know. Tanya Love, no relation to Olivia Love. Also saying happy Labor Day to all Jamaican squad, otherwise known as No Movement Day today. Is it Labor Day in Jamaica? I wasn't aware of that, but if it is, happy Labor Day to all of our Jamaicans who have not moved all day long because they're celebrating their work for the other 364 days a year. And by the way, Jamaicans, they're all, I don't know this for a fact, but every time I have a Jamaican client, they have at least 3 jobs going. So Jamaicans, I'm stereotyping you. You're very hard workers. You deserve it. You deserve a Labor Day. Wet Sugar. Pleasant good evening to Brad and the squad team. Blessings, everybody. Wow, we are blessed with Wet Sugar today. And Willie L. Williams is watching. Dawn Harriet, squad up. Jessica Leamy, how are you? Joan Erica, happy Monday. Sandra Rose Stoddard, what up, squad? Rating Monday. Been distracted at work, but have to be here on. Well, welcome. Debbie Thomas, blessings to y'all. Elizabeth Darby, just with Jamaican flags. So is Carol Anderson, the tiger, representing. Raquel Brown, Jamaica is under lockdown, but yes, it is Labor Day. No movement because they're all under curfew. Oh, wow. I thought that Jamaica was open for tourists, or maybe not. I could be in error. But, you know, our Jamaican squaddies can tell us. But I could have sworn I read somewhere that you can go to Jamaica, but maybe they're under lockdown now. Maybe something happened recently. Let us know in the comments. Let's go to YouTube. Marion, I guess Cock, or Talk to Cock. Squad up, hello. Kimberlyn Burris, squad up. Marion, best Brad show is the best show ever with the thumbs up. We love Marion. I wish I could pronounce his last name. Chalk? Is it Chalk? To Cock or Cock? I'm not sure. TKAC. How would you pronounce that? It's very difficult.
How do you spell it?
TKAC. We're going to go with Chalk. Because that seems like the most reasonable reasonable pronunciation of his last name. Marion Chalk.
There's some silent letters in there.
Yeah, I would think so. Lance Crescent. Hello, Brad. Love the show. Marion, after loving Brad Show Live, I think also loving Vanessa. He wants to ask Vanessa a question. And this is from Marion. We're going with his last name, Chalk. Vanessa, what are you doing that you are so beautiful?
Oh, why?
Vanessa, what are you doing that you are so beautiful? What are you doing?
I'm staying hydrated, Chuck. I'm staying hydrated.
She's staying hydrated. She puts herself together well, and she has really good gene pool. Combine the three, and you get Nesquik, right?
Literally, shake it up.
You shake it up and you get a Nesquik. Question for Brad. Married with lots of questions. He's not asking me about my beauty tips. He is asking me immigration questions. So Marion deserves a pre-question of the day. Can U.S. driver's license and paying taxes help me with getting a green card? No. Unfortunately, no. Having a driver's license and paying taxes does not help you get a green card, although it helps you follow the law. If you are working in the United States, whether you're legal or not, you have to pay taxes on that employment. And if you are driving in the United States, whether legal or not, you better be driving with a driver's license or you're driving illegally. So those two things help you with following the law, but it doesn't help you, unfortunately, with getting a green card. David Agbu saying, hello, Tali. Welcome everyone on YouTube. Tali with a message. Welcome everyone on YouTube. Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and thumbs up. Now, I want you to know something. Tali does this out of the kindness of her heart. She's not a crew member. She's a squatty. And Star Girl Mika, Jamaica is open to tourists, but special days lockdown to prevent crowded events on holidays. Aha. So they're not. So I guess they're allowing the tourists to come in. The tourists got to stay in the hotels, can't leave the hotels, and they're not letting the locals who are living in Jamaica come together for any sort of concerts or parades or whatever else that you would do, and get large crowds together. Thank you, Star Girl.
A good comment here from Debbie Thompson saying, we'll take the stereotype. We're definitely hardworking people.
They are. I am telling you, every time I have a Jamaican club, I am not kidding. All right. If somebody comes in and they're Jamaican and they have only one job, I go, what's wrong with you? All right. Because it's so rare. So rare. I mean, they always like, I'm working today. I work this one on the weekend. They work at night. There's no sleep. No sleep. I'm like, how do you do all this? Yeah. Take it away, Yo-Yo and Vanessa. I'm just stereotyping. I'm sure plenty of people have a regular 9-to-5 job, but
listen,
I'm joking and giving a compliment at the same time because they are very hardworking people. They always seem to have multiple jobs going. All right.
Take that compliment. I'll take that stereotype any day.
All right, take it away, Yo-Yo and Vanessa.
Absolutely. Okay, squad, you already know what time it is. I need you guys to please share, because this is the only way we can get the show out to the entire world. All right, we're about to start schmoozing with Brad. He's going to be talking headlines and immigration news, including the Department of Homeland Security announcement that the Biden administration will grant more than 100,000 Haitians in the U.S. the opportunity to gain temporary protected status.
Yes, we need a thumbs up on that one, right?
Yeah, we do.
A big thumbs up on that one. Julian, ding, 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 ding. Haitian TPS. Vanessa, take it away.
And it's Monday, squad, so it's time to get all warm and fuzzy, and we've got you covered with some adorable baby animal stories.
Wow, panda story today. I'm looking forward to it. And there's a telephone number scrolling at the bottom of the screen. There is also Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson with my head attached to it that carries a sign that says, ask me your immigration question. The telephone number to call to get on our show, 1-800-529-5465. Internationally, it's 212-227-8933. That is the telephone number to call our show to speak to me personally on our show. It is also the number to call for the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, the same telephone number that's scrolling across your screen on the bottom, 1-800-529-5465. We're going to schmooze in about 45 seconds. After our schmooze, I'm going to take the first 14 telephone calls. I will give you my best advice to your best immigration question. After that, we'll check out some social media, what's going on our social media with our immigration questions and other comments. And later in the show, I'm going to speak with Julie Schwietert Collazo, the co-founder and director of Immigrant Families Together, which has raised millions of dollars to assist asylum seekers in the United States since its inception in 2018. But you ready to do some schmoozing, guys?
Let's do it.
Let's do it. So happy Independence Day But it's not only Labor Day in Jamaica. There's celebrations all over the world. Happy Independence Day to Eritrea. It is one of the most important public holidays in the country. Today, it is observed on May 24th every year. On this day in 1991, oh, that was 30 years ago. So it's their 30th year, I guess, right? Yes, I'm doing the math right. 30th year. Eritrean People's Liberation Front forces moved into the capital, reinstating independence following a 30-year war against the Ethiopian military. And Eritrea Independence Day, it's a national holiday as well. All of the workers are given a day off. And by the way, in Africa tomorrow, it is African Liberation Day. And on this day, many African countries celebrate the achievement of their freedom from the European colonial powers. So it's a big week in Africa. Happy Eritrean Independence Day. Happy African Liberation Day tomorrow. And happy Labor Day in Jamaica. And Yo-Yo, I'm sorry?
That's my country. You gotta wish me.
You're not letting me finish. And happy Independence Day, Yo-Yo. Man, you don't even let me finish talking. You're like, where the hell? You're like, where? When are you going to say something to me, man? When are you going to acknowledge I'm from Eritrea? Hello, look at the shirt, right?
It's in my DNA.
I'm gonna tell you something. You know, you mix a really great attitude and good fashion sense and good DNA, and you mix it all together. And what do you get? You get a yo-yo too, right? You get a yo-yo. People gotta go, yo-yo. How come you're like you are? Like you just mix that thing all together. Look at what God gave us, right? It's fantastic, right?
There you go.
And happy Eritrea. Do you do anything to actually celebrate, or is it you just wake up? It's like a good day for you, or is it something you're gonna do to celebrate this?
So what I'm gonna do actually after is I'll have just a couple of my friends come over and we'll have some Eritrean food, some injera, kind of just show them the culture and celebrate. This is a big thing for us because they were in war for 30 years with Ethiopia. A lot of people died, and I growing up, my mom used to bring a lot of the injured. They call them tigadeltis. She used to bring the injured soldiers to our house. So growing up, I would see this is my family right here in our traditional gear. But growing up, I would see women come blinded by blasts, and men, young people come, and my mom would help them kind of just transition to the new world and new life out here in the United States. So I saw a lot of the disasters that happened through this war. So this was a big thing for us.
Well,
so
that's
30th anniversary is huge.
That's really nice. I didn't know that your family did help everybody. What was
my mom? My mom is a beast. I'm gonna tell you one thing.
She's a saint. I don't know if she's a beast, but she's a saint.
She's a beast. She's a saint.
And did she house them? Did she feed them? Yeah. Provide medical care? Everything.
So I remember, and one. For some reason, there's one that always sticks up. Her name was Mana. She was blinded from, I think, it was an explosion. She was one of the soldiers that was fighting in the war. And I remember she stayed with us for a while. And then I remember even taking her with my mom. I was a kid. She took her to this blind school. She enrolled her into that. And found places for her to stay and just started her life. And it was a young woman. She had to have been early 20s. So yeah, that's what I remember.
Wow, it's amazing what people go through. I say to me, personally for my life, I always thank my situation that luckily for me, I was born in the United States. I never had to experience any wars. I never had to experience any sort of, famine or anything that was like what you're describing right now, So right. Lucky for me, and when I hear these stories, I get chills up and down my spine that what people live through and different parts of the world, and it's sad and also encouraging that you hear stories about how others help people less fortunate. Yeah. So
exactly.
So happy Eritrea Independence Day, and congratulations to your mom for being such a saint and helping people. And you're going to have your friends over. Are they aware of everything that your family went through during the War of Independence? Or do you talk about it with them, or you're just like, here's some food and let's celebrate?
Well, that's what I'm going to be talking to them about it. You know, they're African as well, so they understand, you know, the culture and how big an Independence Day is. But like, that's, you know, part of the tradition. You know, we all eat from one big plate and eat together. We feed each other. It's just nothing but love. So then with that, I'll talk about, you know, the stuff that, you know, I've experienced or like my family has. So it's just a great feeling.
Well, I'm looking to seeing all the Instagram stories on Jonathan Elias TV that you can follow him on. By the way, we mentioned it at the top. Julian gave us a ding, ding, ding. The Department of Homeland Security has announced that the Biden administration is going to grant more than 100,000 Haitians in the United States an opportunity to gain temporary protected status. Now, the TPS program went into effect in 2010 after the earthquake that hit Port-au-Prince, Haiti. For those that were in the United States at that time in 2010, they were granted TPS, which is temporary protected status, which gave people an opportunity to get a work permit, a social security number, and advanced parole if they want to travel home to see their family for short periods of time, knowing that Haiti would not be able to take back the tens and tens and tens of thousands of people who were living in the United States at the time because they just didn't have the infrastructure after the earthquake. Donald Trump wanted to end the program. It was fought in the courts. Eventually, it was set to end this December. And now Biden has extended it not only for those who were here in 2010, but it is now open to new people who can show that they are from Haiti, that they are citizens of Haiti, and that they were in the United States as of May 21st, 3 days ago. So if you are from Haiti and you are in the United States as of May 21st, you now have an opportunity to apply for temporary protected status. It's going to be extended for another 18 months. We'll see how it goes after that. Department of Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas said in a statement, quote, "After careful consideration, we determined that we must do what we can to support Haitian nationals in the United States until conditions in Haiti improve so that they may safely return home." As I said earlier, the Trump administration sought to undo this temporary protected status with an administration official even pressing colleagues for research documenting criminal activity of Haitians as part of its effort to restrict immigration. Both Republicans and Democrats have both called on Joe Biden to extend the protections for Haitians. Senator Bob Menendez, a Democrat of New Jersey, and Republican Senator Mark Rubio, Florida, called on the Biden administration in March to issue a new round of protections for Haitian immigrants in the United States. Nobody was expecting them to make a new date. I was not expecting it. I was expecting them to extend the TPS for those that already had TPS from Haiti that were here in 2010. I was not expecting, so kudos to Joe Biden and a good job by him. Not only extending TPS for Haitians that were here in 2010, but opening up the program to all Haitians who were here as of this past Friday. So if you are Haitian and out of status and you're in the United States, unless you arrived this past weekend, you should be applying for TPS. You should get your work permit, your social security card. You can get your driver's license with that documentation in all 50 states. You will be legal in the United States, prevented from getting deported, and you'll even be able to get advanced parole to travel home and come back.
That's amazing. That's going to help a lot of people. I remember when we were talking about that like a couple months ago, there was a lot of people that were asking questions about that. So this is going to help a lot of our viewers for sure.
All right. Meanwhile, 1 year ago today, George Floyd was killed by a Minneapolis police. Floyd's family will visit the White House on the anniversary of his death, more than a month after former police officer Derek Chauvin was found guilty of murdering Floyd, who died after Chauvin knelt on his neck for more than 9 minutes. At the time, George Floyd's death was called a racial reckoning. Multiracial crowds of protesters called for racial justice. Books about racism topped bestseller lists, and surveys suggested that white Americans who had opposed advancement of racial equality were having a change of heart. According to data from Civics, an online polling company, there has been a net increase in favorability toward Black Lives Matter since 2018. Notably, support peaked in the immediate aftermath of the George Floyd death, but although there is reason for some optimism, Civics data says support for Black Lives Matter movement has declined since then. Support for BLM has remained relatively high among racial and ethnic minorities, but the Civics data shows support among white Americans as being fickle and volatile. The reason for the drop is a shift in attitude among Republicans and white Americans generally. After Floyd's death, Republicans reported a much stronger support for Black Lives Matter, as well as Democrats, as well as almost 7 out of 10 Americans, because they saw with their own eyes what happened. They watched a murder in front of them on video. You couldn't ignore it. It was right there in your eyes. How could you say you don't support Black Lives Matter? But now, 1 year later, Civics data shows white people are less supportive of Black Lives Matter than they were even at the beginning of 2020. So, missing a card, but okay. So that's what's happening there with, no, I don't have it. So that's what's happening. That's what's happening there with George Floyd. Are you guys seeing anything? Are you guys seeing anything with, in your communities or amongst your friends, acknowledging the 1 year anniversary of George Floyd's death?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it's all over all the blogs and, you know, the Instagram pages, and yeah, that's a big thing for us as well. So we're definitely, I see it all over.
A whole year already. Time flies, and it's kind of like the whole Black Lives Matter movement has been a conversation this entire year, and it really was brought to light when this happened. So it's for sure a conversation.
Yeah, well, do you feel it's been successful?
What?
Black Lives Matter. That since, I mean, Black Lives Matter movement existed before George Floyd. It took off, obviously, by that horrific murder that everybody watched a murder on their telephone or on their laptop or whatever. So you couldn't deny what happened, and you couldn't deny that this man did nothing to deserve to die. Okay? He didn't even deserve to have his face put on the ground, let alone die. All right? So he didn't deserve to have a knee on his neck. I mean, we can go on and on and on. I mean, we're not even talking, I mean, he got killed, and we watched him. And everybody, unless you don't have, you know, blood in your veins, saw a murder. And people were supporting the fact that minorities, blacks, Hispanics, were being treated disproportionately and negatively by the police than whites. And it's been obvious not only statistically, but what we see in our own eyes. And it's obvious based on what minorities, blacks, Hispanics are saying. So you see it on all three. You saw it with your eyes. You see it based on what people in your community are saying. And you see it statistically. You read it. You know, there's, I don't remember the exact percentage, but a majority of men in prison right now are black and minorities.
Correct.
Okay, so it's not that they're committing more crimes than everybody else. They're just being incarcerated more than everybody else. They're being arrested more than everybody else. So it's obvious. And now, 1 year later, with everything that our country went through with George Floyd, with everything that we protested that we covered. Do you feel anything has changed for the better?
So, so we're obviously still in the same place. You know, there's still Black people that are being victimized by police brutality. I don't think that's going to end anytime soon, because that's how history was. But for Black Lives Matter, I think absolutely it's still made a change. It's brought a lot of us together as well. You know, people who might not have like really protested or like stood for anything, and now they're coming together as one and you know, representing for the culture, for the race. So I think that it's brought a lot of people together, whether it's just Black people or even whites, Hispanics, Asians. There's a lot of people, other races that were supporting as well in the protests. So I think that if anything, it did do better. It's brought awareness. It who's to say what would have happened if somebody didn't record the video of George Floyd? I honestly think that stuff like that happened a lot more than we know, but we're just lucky to have these people that are recording it. And I think that's just because of Black Lives Matter. It's brought awareness to us to always be just ready to record regardless of what's going to happen or what might not happen, what might happen. So it's brought awareness, it's brought a lot of togetherness, but at the end of the day, a lot of the stuff still hasn't changed, because there's always going to be racist people out there that feel like authority is, you know, is theirs. So
I agree with everything that you said, Yo-Yo, too. And it's like, back to your point, Brad, when you mentioned, like, do you feel Black Lives Matter has been successful? I feel like it's like anything else when we use the word success, it's kind of like it's an ongoing thing. It never really ends. It'll go transforming. And I agree with Yo-Yo. Most importantly, a lot more people are talking about the situation, which is bringing a lot more awareness. And that's really what we needed.
Well, I have mixed feelings on all of it. So in one sense, yes, the awareness is there that was not there before. Has awareness done anything? Are the police reformed? Are the police getting better trained? You know, from the standpoint of, you know, people, for me, you know, there's three competing interests going on here. Okay? You have one interest of minorities, Blacks, Hispanics want to be treated equal to whites by the police force that is supposed to be keeping our communities safe. And number two, you want safe communities. And number three, you want people to go into the profession of being a police officer because they want to make a difference and make everybody's lives better. So what have we gotten with all of this awareness so far? We've gotten a lot more awareness, 100%. Are Blacks and minorities being treated better? I don't think so. Are police reformed? No. Are they being better trained? No. Does anybody feel more secure in their communities? No. Do people want to join the police? No. They don't want to join the police. Police are getting a bad rap right now. So sadly for me, 1 year later, I don't see better. I don't know if I see worse. I see better awareness.
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
Black Lives.
But I don't see better.
That's a
But
start,
that's
though.
my opinion. And people and reasonable people can absolutely differ with me.
So, Nesquik, did you want to say something?
I was just gonna say that, like anything else, it's gonna take time. It's not gonna be a shift that happens, you know, from 1 year to the next, when it's been curated in a lot of culture in our society where it's been happening for hundreds of years. So, I believe.
Yeah, that's basically what I was going to say. So Black Lives Matter was formed 2013, and that is something we're fighting something that's where we've been oppressed for 500 years now. So it's definitely not going to happen over time, over a day.
Over 12 months, right.
We had huge public figures in the civil rights era who fought really hard, just like we're doing now, to bring awareness, to bring a change for us. And what happened? The FBI literally shot them all down, said that they are terrorists, they are a threat, and all they were trying to do was promote equality. So it's definitely not going to happen over a year. And I could care less if people feel like, oh, I don't want to join. I don't want to be a cop now because it's getting a bad rep. Yeah, I feel like all of that should be that should be brought out to light. Like right now, it's also putting out the racist cops. It's also like shedding light to the crooked stuff that's happening. Regardless if it's changing it right now, right, we can't say that it will today, tomorrow, or the years to come. But like at least we know that it's shedding light, it's bringing awareness. That right there is positive, and that's moving towards a change.
Okay. Well, I just want to tell you what's happening in the past week, because I don't even know if it made the front page of any newspaper. It's been in the papers, but not the front page. Okay. Last week, we reported that there have been calls for more transparency in the police shooting matters, even by the police unions. Wasn't on the front page, but we saw it. Now, video of a fatal shooting of Andrew Brown Jr., a 42-year-old black man in North Carolina, is casting doubt on whether the use of lethal force was justified in that case. A review of slowed down body cam footage by the New York Times shows that 13 of 14 gunshots, including the fatal one which hit Brown in the back of his head, were fired as Brown was driving away from police officers, not at them, meaning the officers were not in imminent danger. The footage was presented by the district attorney at a press conference and is from 4 different police officers' cameras. And in Louisiana, the state police said Ronald Green had died in a car crash in 2019, but now new recent footage shows troopers shocking and beating him to death. So the Associated Press obtained Louisiana state troopers' body camera video after authorities refused to release it for 2 years. This was happening in Louisiana. In the video, moments leading up to his death, troopers can be seen on a dark roadside, stunning, punching, dragging a black man as he apologizes for leading them on a high-speed chase. Ronald Green told the troopers, "I'm your brother, I'm scared, I'm scared." The unarmed man was jolted with a stun gun before he got out of his car. Now, granted, he led the police on a high-speed chase, but after he was subdued, or even had handcuffs put on him, the man didn't deserve to be beat, dragged, stun gunned, and eventually murdered. The state police acknowledged in a one-page statement that Green struggled with troopers and died on his way to the hospital. That's what they said 2 years ago. But now the 46-minute clip shows one trooper wrestling Green to the ground, putting him in a chokehold and punching him in the face. Jeez. Another trooper drags the man face down after his leg had been shackled and his hands cuffed behind him. 6 troopers were on the scene of the arrest. They left the burly man unattended, face down, moaning for 9 minutes as they used sanitizer wipes to wash blood off their own hands. After a several-minute stretch in which Green is not seen on camera, he appears again limp, unresponsive, bleeding from his head. He's loaded onto an ambulance, his arms cuffed to a bed rail. At some point, he was dead. Whether he was dead when they loaded him onto the gurney or he was dead on his way to the hospital. Now, Green was a barber. Granted, he failed to pull over for a traffic violation, and he led troopers on a 30-mile chase south of the Arkansas state line. So obviously, he was breaking the law, and the man deserved to be arrested.
Absolutely.
But being deserving to be arrested and deserving to be killed by 6 cops or beat the hell out of, that he didn't deserve. You don't deserve that. Hollingsworth, who was one of the state troopers there, it shows on the his name is Chris Hollingsworth. He was the one who got there first. He was the one who put his gun out, and Green came out on the video, says, okay, I'm sorry. But Hollingsworth then shocked Green with a stun gun within seconds through the driver's side window as both troopers demanded he get out of the vehicle. Trooper Corey York dragged Green on his stomach he was suspended without pay for 50 hours. Big deal. Hollingsworth told a colleague at the office that he beat Green, saying he was splitting blood everywhere and all of a sudden he just went limp. Hollingsworth died in a single vehicle highway crash hours after he learned he would be fired for his role in the Green case. Moss was arrested in connection with a separate police pursuit last year in which he and 2 other troopers allegedly used excessive force while handcuffing a motorist. The AP obtained a medical report last year showing an emergency room doctor noted Green arrived dead at the hospital, bruised and bloodied with 2 stun gun prongs in his back. The doctors questioned the troopers, who then told the doctors that Green died on impact after crashing into a tree. None of that happened. So
Wild.
This is still happening. Now, this happened 2 years ago, but it's been covered up until this past week.
Mm-hmm.
This is as bad as George Floyd. As bad.
Definitely right aligned.
So, you know, we're at the 1-year anniversary of George Floyd. And as far as I'm concerned, sadly, you know, the more things change, the more things stay the same. That's how I view it. All right, let's more than talk about it, we got to protest it. We got to keep it alive, I guess. And I guess you're right, Jonathan and Vanessa, in the sense that, you know, you got to, you know, you're not going to change 500 years of history in 12 months.
At all.
All right, so I guess let's just keep talking about it.
That's all we can do.
Mm-hmm. I got very sad reading that. I'm like, you know.
It's
and
horrible.
that was dated
It's a lot.
2019.
That happened in
2 years
2019,
ago.
but it just came out this past week, all of this that happened.
It's horrible.
All right, so coronavirus deaths have reached 590,141 people in the United States. The number of global deaths, the World Health Organization believes, is 3 times higher. 6 to 8 million people have died from COVID since the start of the pandemic. In the United States, more than 400 colleges and universities are requiring students to be vaccinated or don't show up on campus. We have about 50% of Americans have at least 1 shot. More than 25 of the 50 states have a majority of their residents vaccinated. But they are still have a way to go to get to 70%, which is the goal of Joe Biden by July 4th. Most scientists believe that if we get to 70% vaccination rate by July 4th, we will not only be able to open up all of the United States, which is happening as we speak, but that we will hopefully have subdued coronavirus for a longer period of time than a short period of time. What that long period of time looks like, we don't know. Dr. Fauci, he said ultimately we may need a booster for a vaccine. He originally said maybe in 12 months. He kind of walked that back a little bit in another interview. He said he doesn't know how long. It could be much longer than 12 months before you need a booster. So we'll see what happens with that. The other thing that's happening with coronavirus is that Dr. Fauci said, when asked at a conference recently, is it possible? Remember, we had that conversation of where coronavirus originated?
Mm-hmm.
And it either came from wildlife that jumped to a human, or it came from the Wuhan laboratory that was running experiments and either negligently or intentionally was released. Probably, if I had to guess, I can't believe anybody would release it intentionally, but negligently released by the Wuhan lab. And when asked recently in an interview, he said it is possible it came from the Wuhan lab. It is possible it came from an animal. He's not sure anymore.
Wow.
Wow, that's what I said when I read it.
How are you not sure anymore?
Right, because he said originally it was animal.
Right.
Now he's not sure. He says you need more investigation, which is what Yo-Yo said. Yo-Yo and Fauci in the same camp on that. All right, let's get some happy news, Fuzzy Monday news. All right, so his name means little miracle, and Zhao Kuiji, the Smithsonian National Zoo's newest giant panda cub, made his public debut Friday after being born last August to his mother, Mei Zhang, who was considered old at age 22 to get pregnant. Up to now, because of the coronavirus pandemic, fans have only been able to catch a glimpse of the cub playing and snoozing on the zoo's panda cam. But with the zoo reopening Friday for the first time since last November, they now can watch him outside doing panda things, like climbing and chewing and eating. The cub, Zhao Kuiji, weighs 45 pounds and is a long, and the zookeepers say, a long way from the tiny squealing, quote, stick of butter, as cubs are called at birth. When the cub was 5 weeks old, it was only 13 inches big. Can you imagine 13 inches big, the huge bear?
Right.
You like a real teddy bear.
Yeah. They look like a real teddy bear, don't they?
Right.
Except if you went in the cage with them, they'd kill you.
Yeah.
Right. That's like Chucky the teddy bear. Like, oh,
Right,
look
right.
at this cute little teddy bear. Ah! You know?
Right. Exactly like that.
Yeah, but they look cute from afar, but they'd kill you if you came too close.
I like seeing them eat too. I like seeing them eat the bamboo.
Now the public got to pick Zhao Kuiji's name back in November, and as part of the cooperative agreement with China to breed the vulnerable species in their native land, he will be returned there when he's 4 years old to join his 3 siblings, Beibei, Bao Bao, and Tai Xuan. How's my Chinese?
Yeah, I was about to say you're doing pretty good with the names.
Well, I want you to know something. I am when I go to a Chinese restaurant and they give me the menu, I'm a genius with that Chinese menu.
Oh yeah.
Nobody knows how to order Chinese food like me.
What's your go-to?
General Chow.
Me too. General Tso chicken.
Yeah, of course.
Yummy.
And have a little sliced duck. You roll it up in the pancake with a little plum sauce, cucumbers, scallions. You roll it up. Make sure you have a napkin here because it's going to get messy very fast. And then chow down. Nobody's better at a Chinese restaurant than me. Trust me. I know how to order. It shows how I know how to order. Look at what I look like. Of course I know how to order Chinese food. Meanwhile, the Fort Worth Zoo has welcomed a new baby giraffe, Kala, on May 8th. Let's see the baby giraffe. That's cute too.
Oh, that is.
Yeah, now the male calf, whose gender was revealed last Wednesday, is 6 feet tall baby. That is a big baby, 174 pounds baby.
So
That's
cute.
great.
Yes. I was once called a 174-pound baby too, but I'm not a giraffe. But I'm bummed. The zoo says the little calf will be able to meet his new fans soon, but in the meantime, a naming contest is in the works. So we'll see what the name is. I wonder how they do the naming contest. I don't know, but we'll figure it out. Meanwhile,
That's one animal I want to see, a giraffe, like in person.
I've seen a giraffe in person.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to feed it.
No, they would kill you also. They'd hit you with their hoof and kill you in 2 seconds.
No, there's like a hotel where you can there's like a bunch of open windows.
In Kenya, I've seen that on Instagram.
Yeah.
Those are like domesticated giraffes they got there.
That's one of the ones I want to see.
Right. Yeah, you see the person swinging on the swing. They're like on the swing outside the hotel and feeding the giraffes. Yeah, I've seen that.
That's what I want to do.
Yeah, I was on a safari years ago. I saw a giraffe. I wouldn't go near it. That thing would kill you.
No. I wouldn't go near those.
You know, it's also very scary. The hippopotamus.
Those are dangerous. Hippos are dangerous.
They're in the water. They're minding their own business, and as soon as they come up and open their mouth, you jump and you literally, the camera's in the water, the video, everything's in the water. You're lucky, you're still in your skin because they open up their mouth and roar. Oh my God, very scary.
Yeah.
Not that I ever experienced that, but I did.
I'm sure you did.
My camera ended up in the water. I don't have pictures of it anymore.
Yikes.
Meanwhile, human and gorilla moms both gush over their newborns. Earlier this month, Emelina Austin and her 5-week-old son Canyon visited the Franklin Park Zoo in Boston. While visiting the Massachusetts Zoo gorilla exhibit, Emelina said she noticed one of the primates was looking at her sleeping newborn son. Emelina told News Center Maine, quote, "She kept looking around the corner of the cave and I was like, she's looking at Canyon." The mom from Jefferson, Maine described the moment the gorilla came over to see her son up close, which was caught on camera. Emelina said for well over 5 minutes, she just sat there watching Canyon, just staring at him, just so lovingly. Emelina's husband, Michael, uploaded the video of the adorable interaction to YouTube. Michael captioned the clip, which was over 71,000 views. "This gorilla is Kiki. She recently had a baby named Pablo. My wife, Emelina, also had a baby 5 weeks previous to this video. Kiki had brought her baby over to us and shared a connection with my wife and our baby boy, Canyon." Oh, that is really nice. Could I look at that video again?
That is sweet.
And the gorilla has the baby too? In his own?
Yes.
Yeah, it's so cute and it's tiny.
Oh, wow. Look, and now the gorilla's lying next to the baby.
Yeah,
Right.
and
Wow.
yeah, so cute.
Now, back in October, Kiki the gorilla gave birth to Pablo, and it's the Boston Zoo's first male baby gorilla. With the help of veterinarians and physicians since the birth, Kiki has kept her son close and loves to hold him, according to the Franklin Park Zoo. That was very cute. That was a nice
cute.
Fuzzy Monday video.
That was a good Fuzzy Monday.
Yes.
Fuzzy Monday.
Freckles the lobster was not destined to be served up as a delicious basket of lobster at the Cheddar Bay Biscuits restaurant. The extremely rare calico lobster is now at the Virginia Living Museum in Newport News, Virginia, after being discovered at a Red Lobster in Manassas, Virginia. Restaurant staff discovered the orange and black speckled lobster and decided it was best for Freckles to head to the museum for the world to see him. Only 1 in 30 million lobsters in the world have this very special shell because having bright colors is not the best way to hide from predators. So Chris Crispin, Virginia Living Museum's Senior Director of Animal Welfare and Conservation, said, "We take pride in our conservation efforts and strive to create strong partnerships in our community." Red Lobster reached out to Oza Network to provide a home for this rare and beautiful animal. Unfortunately for all of Freckles' compatriots, Red Lobster is still feeding up lots of lobsters. But Freckles, kind of like the turkey who gets pardoned on Thanksgiving, got pardoned by Red Lobster.
Right, and isn't that ironic that having Freckles would be the main reason why they would probably get killed by their prey, but it's the actual reason why Freckles got saved?
That is quite ironic. Ironic. Yeah, because Freckles shouldn't be alive right now, right?
Exactly.
Right. Well, we're glad he is.
All right.
We are.
And lastly, our last fuzzy news of the day. A cephaloid is an active predatory mollusk, such as an octopus or a squid or a cuttlefish. Cephalopod. A cephalopod is an active predatory mollusk. Now, a new test of cephalopod smarts, the octopus smarts, has reinforced how important it is for us humans to not underestimate the octopus. Now, cuttlefish have been put to a new version of the marshmallow test, and the results appear to demonstrate there's more going on in their brains than we thought. Their ability to learn and adapt, the researchers said, could have evolved to give cuttlefish an edge in the cutthroat, eat or be eaten marine world. In the marshmallow test, or Stanford marshmallow experiment, a child is placed in a room with a marshmallow. They are told if they can manage not to eat the marshmallow for 15 minutes, they're going to get a second marshmallow and be allowed to eat both. This ability to delay gratification demonstrates cognitive abilities such as future planning, and it was originally conducted to study how human cognition develops, specifically at what age a human understands delaying gratification if it means a better outcome in the future. And now it's so simple it can be adjusted for animals. Some primates can delay gratification along with some dogs. Now last year, cuttlefish also passed a version of the marshmallow test. Scientists showed that common cuttlefish can refrain from eating a meal of crab meat in the morning once they've learned dinner will be something they like much better, shrimp. The team of researchers designed another test for 6 common cuttlefish. The cuttlefish were placed in a special tank with 2 enclosed chambers. In the chambers were snacks, a less preferred piece of raw king prawn in one, and a much more enticing live grass shrimp in the other. The doors had symbols on them that the cuttlefish were trained to recognize. A circle meant the door would open right away, a triangle meant the door would open in time, and the control group was a square, which meant the door stayed closed indefinitely. So the researchers found that all the cuttlefish in the test condition decided to wait for the preferred door, the live shrimp, but didn't bother to do so in the control group where they couldn't access it. So cuttlefish know which door to open to get their right food that they want, or their best food. Now, researchers said, quote, cuttlefish in the present study were able to wait for the better reward and tolerated delays for up to 50 to 130 seconds, which is comparable to what we see in large brain vertebrates such as chimpanzees, crows, and parrots. Interestingly, My Octopus Teacher, which is a 2020 Netflix documentary, which documents a year spent by the filmmaker Craig Foster forging a relationship with an octopus in the South African kelp forest, won the award for the Academy Award for Best Documentary Film. And in the film, you could even see the octopus waiting to see this filmmaker and giving him a hug. So octopuses have brains. That's what we have learned from all of this.
Yes.
Yeah? Now, octopus is not very fuzzy.
They're not.
Would you give an octopus a hug?
The gorilla.
Would you give an octopus a hug?
No.
What would you rather do? Hug an octopus or pet a shark?
What?
Yeah, death is not an option. You have to hug an octopus, pet a shark.
Pet a shark.
I think I would pet a shark too.
Yeah.
Yeah, we all agree with that. Pet a shark instead of hug an octopus. Good.
Yes.
Smart.
But they're sweet. Octopus. I've seen videos of octopus like being very sweet and affectionate towards human beings. So
and there's sharks that don't attack humans. It's not like every shark's a Jaws.
Exactly.
All right. That's our Fuzzy Monday, guys. But in today's Braducation, I talk about lawful prospective immigrant status and what it is and what it can mean for millions of people if Joe Biden gets to actually pass his immigration amnesty. Let's watch. My goal is straightforward, to make the law usable and easy to understand for everyone. All of us in the United States have equal rights and should have an equal opportunity and a right to justice. I'm here to help because I want everybody to achieve their American dream. I'm Brad Bernstein, and this is your Immigration Braducation. I'm not here to tell you what you want to know. I'm here to tell you what you need to know. U.S. immigration law is complex, and the regulations are constantly changing. My objective is to make the law easy for you to understand so that you can use the justice system, know your rights, take advantage of the law, and achieve your American dream. Now, the Pew Research Center estimates that approximately 11 million people living in the United States are out of status. And for the first time in 35 years, an amnesty bill that has a chance to pass has been presented to Congress by President Biden. Called the U.S. Citizenship Act of 2021, the immigration reform bill is 363 pages and offers 5 different amnesties and an overhaul to family and employment-based immigration. Now, keep in mind, this is not law yet and is subject to change and may not even be passed by Congress. But because the Democrats control the House of Representatives, the Senate, and the presidency, people are very excited about this. So let's get into the meat, the substance, the nitty-gritty of one very important section of the United States Citizenship Act of 2021 that will affect the lives of millions of people. Lawful prospective immigrant status. You're going to hear a lot about this. Now, before we get to the amnesty, let me give you a braducation within a braducation. There are 5 categories of immigration status that you can have in America. 1, you can be a United States citizen. 2, you can be a lawful permanent resident. That's somebody with a green card. 3, you can be a non-immigrant. That is someone who is lawfully in the United States with a visa that is temporary in nature, such as a visitor, student, or even somebody on a temporary work visa. 4, you can be in the United States under color of law, which is somebody who is neither a citizen, resident, or non-immigrant, but nevertheless is legal to be in America, such as someone with a pending asylum application, or a pending adjustment of status application, or recipient of deferred action for childhood arrivals known as DACA, or even somebody under temporary protected status known as TPS. Or 5, you can be undocumented because you came to the United States without inspection, or you were inspected as a non-immigrant and overstayed your allotted time on your visa, or you had a green card and were ordered deported and just never left. So now people who are residing in the United States under color of law, as well as those who are undocumented, will be eligible for this new immigration amnesty status that will affect millions of lives. Lawful prospective immigrant status will cover people who are physically in the United States and are undocumented or in the United States under color of law on January 1st, 2021, and pass a background check. Those individuals will receive employment authorization, immediate authorization to travel back and forth to their home country, a social security number, a driver's license, apply for health insurance, and have the ability to apply even for the Affordable Care Act. In fact, anyone with an application pending for lawful prospective immigrant status will not be subject to deportation. And if the status is granted, you still cannot get deported unless you commit a crime, and this status will be good for up to 6 years. And by the way, you can watch all of our braducations on onlyfans.tv. I am the only lawyer on OnlyFans. I am also maybe one of the only few who keeps their clothes on. You can watch it for absolutely free. We don't charge at all. It's all free. But we put all our braducations on OnlyFans TV. So follow us on OnlyFans TV and like our videos on OnlyFans TV. It's all our braducations and only on OnlyFans TV. By the way, all of the braducations, not just one, but all of them. You can follow all of us on OnlyFans TV. Let's get into, you got a question? I'm going to give you my best answer. Call us with your immigration questions, or what we say in the promo, getting answers to your immigration questions. Sarah, poor Sarah, I've been waiting 1 hour and 20 minutes for this question. How are you? Hi, Sarah. How are you?
Yes, I'm fine.
Sorry to keep you waiting.
I filed for VAWA last year.
Yes.
And they wrote back to me that they have seen that they have started on my case since August last year. And up to now, I've not heard from them. So I don't know what to do.
All right. So you filed the I-360. When was it filed? Give me the date.
I-360.
When? What's the date it was received by immigration?
On the letter they wrote to me was August last year.
August 2020.
That they have started working on my case.
No. Not when they started working on it. When was it filed? When did immigration receive the application?
I filed the application since June last year.
June 2020, your application went in.
June 2020.
Okay.
And they asked me to see a psychologist, which I did.
Nobody asked. One second. Immigration didn't ask you to see a psychiatrist. They wouldn't ask you to see a psychiatrist. They may have asked you for additional evidence, such as, are you going to a psychiatrist? Please send us a report. But they don't say go to a psychiatrist, no.
Okay. So I sent my report to them, and they wrote back that they have started working on my case since August last year. And up to now, I've not heard from them.
Sarah, I understand that, and you were waiting a long time to speak to me. But I'm going to ask you something. Please answer my question so I can help you.
Okay.
Okay? So I understand you're waiting on your VAWA case. And I understand that immigration sent you a request for evidence, and either your lawyer or the person helping you suggested submit a report from a psychiatrist, which you did. I understand all of that. You filed an application. The initial VAWA application was filed in June of 2020. Is that correct? That's when immigration first knew that you were filing a VAWA application. Did you file an adjustment application with that?
Yes,
So
I did.
You paid $1,225 to the government for a filing fee?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
And did you get a work permit?
Yes.
Okay. Did you get travel permission, advance parole?
No.
Do you want to travel?
Yes, I want to travel.
Okay, so you should have filed what's called an I-131 application for advance parole, and you could do that right now so you can travel. You could go home and come back. Don't stay out for more than 4 weeks at a time. And did you get something called a prima facie determination?
No.
You did not. Okay.
I did not.
Okay.
They only wrote me that they have started working on my case.
Can I ask a question? Besides a report from a psychologist, which we don't even know what the psychologist said, but let's assume psychologist says that psychologist is saying that you've been the victim of extreme emotional abuse. Besides that report, what else did you submit to immigration to prove your case?
Nothing.
Nothing. Okay. And did you submit evidence that you and your spouse live together?
He has gone away with everything.
Okay.
He just abandoning me and left.
Okay. So Sarah, this does not sound promising for you. I'm being frank. Okay. Submitting one report from a psychologist with no additional evidence doesn't win you a case. As a matter of fact, immigration looked at your initial filing and did not even provide a prima facie determination, which says that on its face, it seems like you have a good case. Now,
can I say something, sir?
You've said a lot, but you want to keep talking. It's your dime. You're better off for me to talk so I can give you advice. But if you want to just get things off your chest, I'll listen.
Okay, continue talking.
No,
sir.
you talk.
Please talk.
No, tell me what you want to say. I'm here.
Yes. On our apartment, they discovered the apartment say they cannot include his name on the apartment.
Okay,
so
now you're getting. All right,
all
right, let me talk now. Your excuses of why his name is on the apartment lease or not is not relevant to the overall arching theme I am telling you, which is you did not submit enough evidence to prove either you were in a bona fide marriage with this man or were the victim of extreme emotional abuse. Him abandoning you.
And we have a bill together.
Okay, one bill together does not prove a marriage. Okay, neither does one.
Then we have an account statement together.
Okay, an account statement together and a bill together and a psychologist report does not prove a VAWA case. Yeah. I'm just being frank with you. What I think, I don't know who's advising you, okay, but you should be happy so far they haven't denied you yet. What I think you should do at this point is, do you have copies of everything that you submitted?
Yeah.
Okay. If you have copies of everything you submitted, I think the best thing is to have a second opinion. Let's take a look at all of the evidence you submitted. Now, you filed everything last June. They're not going to get to review your case probably for another 9 months or so because it hasn't even been pending a year yet. So they usually start looking at your case anywhere from 18 to 24 months from the time that you filed. So we have time to make a better presentation of the extreme emotional abuse that you suffered. I would hold on one second. Hold on. Okay. Let's go to Dwayne in Birmingham, Alabama. Dwayne.
Hey, Brad.
How you doing?
I'm doing great. Thanks for accepting my call. I sent in I-130, and I got the receipt notice. But shortly after, I did an adjustment. But today, I received an RFE for the I-130, stating that I was registered 10 years after I was born. That's on my birth paper.
Okay.
So it's not sufficient evidence enough to prove that those are my parents.
Your dad's filing for you.
No, my wife. I'm doing an adjustment.
Your wife is filing for you. What's
Yes,
the
sir.
difference? Who cares who your parents are then?
That's what I'm confused about. Because
I'm confused too, because who cares who your parents are? Doesn't matter who your parents are. There's no bearing on whether you're in a bona fide marriage with your wife.
that's what's on the RFE. He's saying
That's a very odd RFE.
I was registered 10 years.
But
10
that-
years
but that's
after I
a-
was born.
Okay, it's an R. And so maybe they're questioning who you are as a human being. That since your birth was registered 10 years later, they're not questioning who your parents are. They're questioning, are you who you claim to be? Because you're submitting a birth certificate. So, you were born. There's no record of a birth. Okay, they don't know who you are. 10 years later, somebody walks in and says, I want to make a late application for a birth for Dwayne, but that's not contemporaneous with your birth. So my guess is what they're saying is prove you are who you are. That's where I think your problem is. And you would need to have a consultation to figure out how we prove you are who you are. Were you born at home or were you born in a hospital?
I was born in a hospital.
So why was your birth registered 10 years later?
I don't know. That's something I'd have to ask my mom about.
So mom's going to write an affidavit. Dad's going to write an affidavit. Hopefully they're alive.
No, that is possible.
Okay,
Mom is
alive, or anybody else who was around at the time of the birth is going to write an affidavit, and we will get either school records or hospital records to show, that this woman, your mom, whatever her name is, let's call her Mary, I have no idea. Mary gave birth to Dwayne where are you from?
I'm from Clarendon.
All right,
Jamaica.
so Mary gave birth to Dwayne in a hospital in Jamaica. Here's the birth records. Here's affidavits from the mother saying, that's my son. Here's affidavits from other people saying, I was around at the time Mary gave birth to Dwayne. She was all thrilled. She was happy. I remember seeing him as a baby in the house. Things like that to prove you are who you are. All right, hold on one second if you need help. Let's go to Owalabi in New Braunfels, Texas.
Hello.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you doing?
Good.
I have a few questions I want to ask from you, Brad.
Go ahead.
And my first question is, I got my permanent resident in 2019 November, and I want to ask. Then I got it through marriage.
Right.
And I want to ask what is the best time I can file my citizenship.
Did you get a 2-year or 10-year?
10 years.
Okay. Did you have a 2-year card or you went straight to a 10-year?
No, because I went straight to 10 years.
Okay. So you got your green card when in 2019?
November. I got it November 20, I think November 24th.
November 24th, 2019. All right. So
Yes,
presuming you stay in a bona fide marriage with your wife, 3 years from November 24th, 2019 is November 24th, 2022. You can file 90 days before that. So it'll be October, September 1st, 2022, which is about 86 days before the 3-year anniversary of you getting your green card. You could file for your citizenship.
Like our marriage is more than 3 years already.
It doesn't matter.
We got married.
Everyone gets confused on that. Okay. There's 2 rules, and everybody keeps getting confused on these rules. So let me tell you the 2 rules Okay, because one rule relates to how long you've been married, and the other rule relates to when can I file for my citizenship. Okay?
Okay.
Rule 1.
Okay.
You ready? Rule 1.
Yes.
You file for your citizenship 90 days before the 3-year anniversary of your permanent residence in the United States. Has nothing to do with how long you've been married.
Okay.
Rule number 2. The determination of whether you are a 2-year green card holder or a 10-year green card holder depends on how long you were married at the time you are granted your resident status. If you are married less than 2 years, you get a 2-year green card. If you're married more than 2 years, you get a 10-year green card. And the confusion lies in everyone mixes these things up. Citizenship is based on how long you've had a green card. Whether you get a conditional green card or a permanent green card is based on how long you were married.
Okay, sir.
Got it?
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Good luck. Let's go to Ahmed in Jamaica.
Good afternoon, sir. Hello?
Yeah, hi.
Hi, sir. My Arif Ahmed, my name. So, I've applied for N400.
Right.
After a month, I got arrested. So now they charged me 4 charge me. So they
what were you arrested for?
Arrest for domestic assault.
Domestic assault. Well, if you are found guilty of basically a domestic violence crime, that's a deportable offense.
I know, but they offered me pay some fine, and then they removed the charge.
What did they offer you?
So pay some fine.
Well, I don't know what fine means. What were you found guilty of?
It's not I think it's domestic. They dropped those charge.
What?
They dropped those charges.
All the charges were dropped. So you were found innocent. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah. So my question, also another thing, my wife, she go to a family court, ask for order protection. So order protection is in a tile. So what I can do? So it's
how long is the order protection?
It's still like TPO, temporary order protection. Not a final order.
So this is the deal. Okay, you got arrested for domestic violence. If in fact your charges were dropped, good for you. You're not going to get deported. You cannot prove good moral character while there is a temporary protective order against you. So whether it's temporary or permanent, if there's a protection order against you, that is prima facie bad moral character. You need a minimum of 3 years good moral character in a bona fide marriage with your wife, but you're not even in a bona fide marriage with your wife anymore because you're not allowed to be near her. So your citizenship's going to be denied just because of the temporary protective order. And then either once the protective order is up, if you and your wife reconcile, then you got to wait 3 years from that time to file your citizenship, or 5 years if you and your wife don't reconcile. But your citizenship's going to be denied.
Okay. But if I divorce her, so I have to wait until 5 years, right?
You're going to have to wait 5 years anyway unless you're living with her, whether you're divorced or not. You need help. Hold on, my friend. Let's go to Angela in Houston.
Hey, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you? I have 2 questions.
Yes.
Yeah, can my boyfriend file for me if he has a criminal history?
What is the criminal history?
He was caught with marijuana when he was 19.
That's fine. No problem.
Okay.
But assuming you marry, your boyfriend can't file for anybody.
No,
Husband,
we're gonna get married.
Right. Husband can file, absolutely. The only time when, I assume he's a U.S. citizen, the only time when it's a problem with a U.S. citizen filing for a spouse is when that U.S. citizen was found guilty of some crime involving sexual abuse of a minor.
Oh.
Other than that, it's fine.
Okay.
All right.
And the other question is, he got an accident and he's not working right now, but he's looking for a job. Will that affect me in any way?
Well, it affects you in the sense that if he's not working, you'll need a second affidavit of support from someone else. But other than that, no, it has no effect.
Okay. And Brad, Do you still offer the COVID consultation fee? I want to talk to you privately.
Yeah, hold on one second. Let's go to James in St. Paul, Minnesota. James.
Hello.
Hi, James.
Hi, Brad. I'm calling from Minnesota.
I see that.
So my question is,
Yes.
I just recently had an N400 interview, and initially I was applied for my removal of green card conditions, but eventually I didn't get a response from them. But
So
when
then
I applied for
then you filed for the citizenship.
yes.
Okay, so what's your question?
So the question was that when I went for the interview, and the official told me that, oh, did I receive the letter for the I-751, which I never got. I told the official that I never got it. They said they sent it. So she said, okay, we're going to have an interview on that, and my wife was not there with me, and she just had a surgery, which I explained to the interviewer. I had a lawyer, and my lawyer is not also there.
Well, your lawyer should know that when you're filing your citizenship and you have not gotten your I-751 approved, you better show up to the interview with your wife. It's bottom line. So what happened?
Well, the interviewer, she asked me if I was, if
I don't want to hear everything that happened at the interview. What was the result?
Okay, the result was that, they were not, my petition is unconclusive right now because,
All right. So what is your question? What would you like me to help you with?
So my question goes, with that, what is the next step?
Wait for them to schedule. Hopefully they don't deny everything, and wait for them to reschedule a new interview with you. Hopefully that's what they plan on doing. I wasn't there, but hopefully they'll schedule you a new interview to interview you both for your citizenship and your I-751. Hopefully soon. With your wife.
Okay.
Show up with your wife, because you got to get the I-751 approved to get the citizenship approved.
Okay.
Okay. So so the answer is follow up for a new interview.
So how do
I wasn't. Of course, write them, call them, go there. I wasn't there at the interview. I don't know how it ended. So if the officer said, I'm going to reschedule a new interview, follow up for it. If the officer says, your lawyer's an idiot or you screwed up, your case is denied, then we got to refile again. I don't know. I wasn't there. So you tell me what happened. I don't know.
Okay.
All right. But right now it sounds like they're going to reschedule you. So follow up. And next time, show up with your wife.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Let's go to Ali in Eagan, Minnesota. Ali, we lost Ali. Let's go to Gary in Clarendon, Jamaica. Gary.
Yes, Brad. Big up to you and your other host.
Thank you. I'm sure they're listening.
Your show, I've always been watching your show, and I find it very helpful.
Thank you.
I just need to know what is happening at the U.S. Embassy in Jamaica, because I was told that they are not conducting interviews. Is that true?
No, they are, but very slowly.
Okay. Can you tell me for the F3 category if they are doing interviews in that category?
They should be. I haven't seen one come across my desk, but they should be. The embassy is open. They should be scheduling people for interviews. It's just low staff and very, very slow because of COVID.
Whoa. Okay.
All right.
If
you have a specific issue with your particular case, you can call us and we can see what we can do and contact the embassy on your behalf.
Right. And this is the number that I will get you on, the same number here.
Correct.
All right. All the best to you.
All right. Thank you, Gary.
I'll continue listening.
Great. Appreciate it. Let's go to Moses in Boston. Moses.
Hello, Brad.
Hi, how are you?
Good, and you?
Good. What's going on?
Yeah, please, I'm doing good. Yeah, my case is more or less like Cyrus, the first speaker's one. I had applied, then I had a RFE. I applied in July last year. Oh, sorry, April last year. Then I had RFE somewhere in June. They told me that the I-3 I submitted did not establish a prima facie case. So I should submit evidence of good moral character and evidence the marriage was legitimate or in good faith. So I responded they said they received it in 16th of September last year. But I haven't heard anything from them.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't had any prima facie or anything.
Well, if you're not getting a prima facie, that's not good news.
Come again?
If you're not getting a prima facie, that's not very good news that you were able to properly respond to that RFE. They were asking questions about good moral character. They were asking questions about whether you're in a bona fide marriage with this woman that you're claiming abuse from. None of that's good. And then on top of it, you didn't get the prima facie. So you're asking me what's the next step? I'd have a lawyer review what you're doing. That would be the next step I would do.
Yeah, what I'm trying to say is that I did respond to the RFE.
I understand you respond to the RFE, and what I'm trying to say to you is you're asking me to use telepathy, which I don't have. But if I did, I would use it for you. But you're asking me to use telepathy to transport myself into an immigration office, into the brain of an immigration officer, to read what he's reading on an application I know nothing about, other than you told me you responded to an RFE. I'm good, but I'm not that good. So the best thing I can suggest you do is let me review your case, and then I'll tell you if you're screwed or not.
Okay.
Hold on.
Secondary, can I?
Yes.
Can I add more evidence to already submitted RFE?
No, you can't. But perhaps, hopefully, you can do one of three. Hopefully, you'll either get another RFE. Hopefully, two, you'll get an interview, and then you can bring it to your interview. Or three, if you get denied, refile again if it's within 2 years of a divorce. So hold on one second. All right, we can't go through your whole case. I don't know anything about your case other than you responded to an RFE, you're not getting a prima facie, and you haven't heard from immigration. As I said, I'm good, but I'm not that good. Let's go to Kadeen in Huntsville, Alabama.
Hello, good day.
Good day, how are you?
Yes, I got a question. I told my husband I-130, right? And it's been approved. And he came here to visit me from Jamaica, and he decided not to go back home.
Okay.
So do I need to file an adjustment of status, or
yes, but do it. No, file an adjustment if he doesn't want to go home, but you have to do it more than 90 days after he got here.
He got to be over 90 days, right?
Correct.
Okay. That's all, David.
All right, and hold on if you need help.
Okay.
All right, let's go to Idara in Dallas, Texas. Idara.
Hey.
Hi, how are you, Idara?
Good afternoon. How are you?
Good afternoon. Today? What's going on?
Oh, everything is going on well by God's grace, though.
Wonderful.
Okay.
That's great news.
I got a question. My question is, okay, I had a sister over here. She got married 3 years ago to a citizen, and they, actually do the adjustment of status, and they got for interview for 2 times. They were denied and came back and refiled it again. Okay, are you there?
I'm listening. Your sister got denied twice and refiled again and again.
Yes, refiled again, but before now, her work permit was still valued, but recently they just received the letter and sent a letter to her that she can go ahead and get her work back, and her work permit has been, revalued again. So now my question is, she's crying and she doesn't want to talk. My question is, can they just give her a green card without another interview?
No, she's going to get a new interview.
Huh?
She will get a new interview, yes. She will not have an interview. Yeah, they already denied her. Why would they just grant her a green card? They're going to want to interview her again.
So are they going to invite her for interview again?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, so now another question. I'm sorry, I got 2 questions actually to ask. The another question is the husband to be say that before they got married, he had like 2 baby mamas, which he hadn't mentioned it to her. that, you see with the baby mama. So during this process of everything, she has not been seeing the husband at home, but recently discovered that the baby mama has gone back to the husband has gone back to the baby mamas, not even the baby mamas, but another girlfriend. So she has been having the pictures of the girlfriend and everything around. And now she's asking, can she file for an abuse or something?
It's possible. It sounds like he's not a very good husband. He went back to the baby mama. He left her. He's certainly cheating on her at a minimum, and may have even left the marriage at a maximum. Either way, it's not somebody who looks like they want to have a lifelong relationship with, and which is one of the things to prove in a bona fide marriage, that you're coming together for life. Now, adultery and lying could be part of a larger story of emotional abuse. We would have to sit down with the assistant.
I don't know why I can't hear you. I'm sorry. I can't hear you.
I don't know why you can't hear me. I said adultery and lying, about, what's going on in your life could be some evidence of a larger mix of evidence of extreme emotional abuse. So we would need to speak with your sister. All right, so hold on one second.
Okay.
Let's go to Mason in the Bronx. Mason in the Bronx. Massam. M-A-S-U-M.
Hello.
How are you?
Brad.
How are you?
Hey, how are you, man? Good.
What's going on?
But I have two questions.
Yes.
Yeah, so I was arrested like 6 years ago in New York for controlled substance.
Uh-huh.
And the case was dismissed after 6 months.
Good.
And when
so
the police
you got an ACD, stay out of trouble for 6 months, and they dismiss it.
Yeah.
Right.
When the police asked me, and I told them, my girlfriend told me to get it, like a drugs or whatever.
Uh-huh.
Then I went to the court, and they dismissed the case.
That's fine.
And,
ACD is ACD. You don't have to explain yourself. It's dismissed. What's the question?
So I filed citizenship last year,
right,
after 5 years.
Uh-huh.
After 10 months, they sent me for a fingerprint letter.
Mm-hmm.
So what is my chances? And
100%, 100%, based on what you told me, unless there's something more I don't know. You were arrested once. The case was dismissed. You filed your citizenship more than 5 years after the dismissal. You have 5 years of good moral character. You should become a citizen. All else being equal, assuming you pay your taxes and no other arrests, blah, blah, blah. You know how to read and write English. I mean, I can go on and on, but assuming that's your only skeleton in the closet, you should become a citizen.
This is the only arrest I have in America.
Right, okay. So the answer is you should become a citizen. When you should become a citizen, I don't know, but your case has been pending 10 months. You should be getting an interview very shortly.
They asked me for fingerprint after 10 months. So how long I have to wait for interview after?
I don't know. I don't run the immigration service. I'm not their calendar person.
One more question. If I told the police, then my girlfriend told me to get drugs. So it mean like I admit the crime or something?
No, your case was dismissed.
All right, Brad.
Okay.
Thank you so much.
All right, but let me answer. But you don't let me answer the middle question. But it's okay.
Okay.
You want me to answer it? You just jumped over me.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Yes, please.
The answer is I don't know. I don't calendar when you're going to get scheduled. But you figure if your case is already pending 10 months and they ask for a new fingerprint within another 3 to 4 months, you should be getting an interview.
All right. Thank you so much,
You're
Brad.
welcome.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Okay. All right. Let's go to Nahoma in Baltimore, Maryland. Nahoma in Baltimore, Maryland. Nahoma.
Hello, Brand.
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Good. What's going on?
I have a question. I have a misdemeanor on my record.
Yes.
And for the misdemeanor is for selling cigarettes for underage girls.
Mm-hmm.
And I want to know what is... right now I'm applying for citizenship, and I want to know...
When was this?
This was in 2017.
Are you basing citizenship on marriage to a U.S. citizen or?
No, it's my mother case, you know.
When did you get your green card?
2016, July 2016.
So this conviction happened within a year of your entry into America?
No.
Yes? When did you come to America?
This 2014 actually.
All right, so you got your green card 2014. Where are you from?
From Eritrea.
Okay. And in 2017, I guess you're working in a store and you sold cigarettes to an underage girl.
Yeah,
Was this a misdemeanor or a felony?
it was a misdemeanor.
And did you go to jail?
No. They fined me $300 and I served 32 hours community service. Then that's it.
All right. It sounds to me like it's a petty offense. I don't know for a fact until I look at your disposition. I would be very concerned because if it's not a petty offense, you are a deportable alien, even as a crime of moral turpitude. But it sounds like a petty offense, but I don't know the Maryland statutes of selling cigarettes to an underage person off the top of my head. But it sounds to me on the surface that it's a petty offense. If it's a petty offense, you're okay in terms of getting deported, but you still need 5 years good moral character, which you're not going to have. So I would not have filed citizenship so quickly. I would certainly have your convictions reviewed by somebody.
Okay.
All right, hold on 1 second. Let's go to Minaj in Chicago.
Hello?
Hi, how are you?
I'm good, sir. How are you today? Sir, my question is I've been here in States in 2015 in B1. So after that, I applied for F1, but it had got denied in 2017 after 2 years of my presence in America. So in between, while I was working in a gas station, I was caught with an underage person by selling him beer.
Second person in a row. What the odds of that? Okay.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. The last call also was selling something to an underage person. Cigarettes. Your beer this time. Where are you from?
I'm from Chicago.
No, originally.
From India.
From India. Okay. So do you have a green card or you have nothing right now?
No, sir. Recently, I'm trying to file for a U visa because while I was working in a gas station, a man pulled a knife on me.
Oh my gosh.
So.
All right. So I don't know what you were found, again, selling beer to an underage person. I don't know what the penal code in Chicago is for that.
So that's in Ohio. So this.
Or even I don't even know. I don't even know Ohio either. So I would need to review.
They have dismissed the case.
If it was dismissed, then you're okay for the U visa. Then don't worry about it.
Yeah. So my question here is, sir, after all this, if I want to travel back to India to visit my parents, and if after filing U visa, can I travel and come back?
No, you need an actual U visa to travel, or advanced parole, which you won't get.
So if there is any emergency, do we have any other process?
No.
No?
Unfortunately, there's only 10,000 U visas given out a year, and there's like 60,000 people waiting for U visas, or maybe even more now. So it's a long, long wait, unfortunately.
Okay.
Sorry.
So I got to wait till the U visa is approved.
Correct.
Right?
Correct.
Yes, sir.
All right.
Thank you, Mr.
You're
Brad.
welcome.
Thank you. We thanks for your support that you are helping.
I know. I wish I could give out more U visas. I can't.
Yeah. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thanks for your time.
You're welcome. Let's go to Ali in Eagan, Minnesota. Ali.
Hey, Uncle Brad, how are you doing?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have a quick question here.
Yeah.
So I want to ask, after fingerprints, how long does it take to get your ED?
Interview for what?
After fingerprint, how long does it take to get your work authority?
Your work authorization, who's sponsoring you? You're getting adjustment of status based on marriage?
Yes.
When did you file your adjustment?
I believe it was end of April.
The end of April?
Yes. End of March, sorry.
The end of March. You have not fingerprinted yet?
I already did my fingerprint.
Oh, you did? All right, good. You should have your work permit by September.
September, okay.
All right, hang in there.
Okay, thanks.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right. Maybe even sooner, but by September for sure. All right. By the way, if you didn't get your immigration questions answered, you could always follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein. If you follow me on Instagram at Real Brad Bernstein, you drop me a DM, I will answer your immigration questions. Sometimes it takes me 2, 3, 4 days to get back to you, so hang in there, but I will respond. You can ask anybody in the squad who already follows me on Instagram. I do respond to everybody eventually. Also, you can follow us at Brad Show Live. If you can't handle 2 hours of Brad or Yo-Yo or Vanessa, but you can handle 60 seconds of us or 30 seconds of us, follow us on Instagram at Brad Show Live. Also, if you love Speed Round as much as Yo-Yo and Vanessa and me, then follow us on TikTok for all of our best speed rounds. Yo-Yo, congratulations. I saw one of the most recent speed rounds. We had over 60,000 views in like 24 hours. People on TikTok are loving that speed round. So follow us. Yeah, so follow us on TikTok, Brad Show Live. And Yo-Yo, what do you got?
You guys can follow me at Jonathan Elias TV on Instagram.
And you guys can find me at Vanessa.Contreras TV.
And later in the show, I'm going to speak to the co-founder and director of Immigrant Families Together, Julie Schwietert Collazo, who has inspired to raise millions of dollars to assist United States asylum seekers after hearing a story on the radio.
And now we're going to hear the #1 change Brad Show Live guest, musical theater composer Jaime Lozano would like to see in U.S. immigration reform. Now, what would you like to see change? Okay, squad, I'm going to be looking in the comments. Let us know.
What is the #1 change you want to see in U.S. immigration reform?
We should be able to work without all these long and expensive processes. I mean, they just take forever, and they are working as a dishwasher or they are working in a restaurant that they're not able to apply for a visa because they don't have the mediums to do that. I mean, if they're working in an honest way, they should be able to work legally in anywhere. So I think it's important to help the people that they are working in honest in this country. I mean, like facilitating the way to get some kind of work visa.
Immigration was complicated. When I became an immigration lawyer in 1993, I was actually told it's the second most complicated law behind tax law. Now, in 2021, I don't know, it could be just as complicated as tax law, maybe even the most complicated in America. They don't make it easy. It's not just filling out a form. I wish it was for many people, but it's not. So hopefully somebody's listening when they make this immigration reform. All right, let's do social media check-in.
All right, our first one is a VIP Brad Squad member, and in order to become a VIP member, all you have to do is join Facebook. Go on the search engine in Facebook, put Brad Squad, and that should come up. It should be a page where you have to actually press request, and we will accept it. So join that, and you can throw in your question anytime throughout the day, and then we will take the first 5 questions from the VIP squad and put it before any of the questions that we get during the live show. So Lawrence Ndibi says, how long does it take to get a biometric appointment if I immediately respond to the RFE? It has been over a month now since I've responded. My priority date is November 2020.
It has nothing to do with your priority date. Your new priority date is the day you responded to the RFE. So your case has only been pending for 30 days. You may not get a biometric for a couple months now.
Tim Lewin, another Brad Squad VIP member, if someone is in removal proceedings due to an I-751 denial, would getting remarried with a new I-130 approval allow that person to receive an I-485 interview?
Yes, but you got to do it all through the judge.
Sandra Rose Studdard, Brad Squad VIP member. If a mother of 3 kids is the applicant and she gets denied, does that mean that the 3 kids she applied for were denied as well?
Yes, it does.
Peter W. James Jr., another Brad Squad VIP member. If I am a family of 3 and my wife is the petitioner and our combined gross income on 2020 tax returns was about $13,000, but she made over $30,000 the past year while I've been working part-time, how can we provide this on our I-485?
You can't. You need a second affidavit to support your income is $13,000.
Okay, Patricia Lusson. Brad Squad VIP member, can you explain how I can obtain a green card through employment in the U.S. if and when I submit the I-140, the perm labor certification? How long will it take to get a green card?
Job sponsorship is filing a perm proving you're not taking a job away from an American worker and you're being paid the prevailing wage of similarly employed workers. Once that's approved, you file an I-140 visa petition. You show you have experience, the minimum experience required for the job, and your employer can afford to pay your salary. You get that approved, then you're eligible for your green card. You could adjust here if you are in legal status or 245I, or if not, you would have to go back to your home country with a provisional waiver, or maybe you're in your home country already and just waiting for a green card. Either way, you'd go to the U.S. Embassy. That is the job sponsorship in 25 seconds or less.
Kimberlyn Burris on YouTube, how much does it cost to respond to an RFE request for further evidence?
How much does it cost? It doesn't cost immigration anything. If you're asking me what it costs in terms of hiring a lawyer or hiring Spar and Bernstein, you're paying for our time, you're paying for our effort, you're paying for our expertise. Time, effort, expertise. That's how a lawyer for immigration gets paid. What that fee is depends on the time we'll have to take for your RFE, the effort we would put into it, and the expertise required to complete it. And that's based on a consultation.
Blacksimi 2 on YouTube. If I submitted a withdrawal letter to USCIS regarding my I-485 application, how long will it take for USCIS to respond with an acknowledgement of the receipt?
A few months. 2 more.
O'Neill Lowe on YouTube, if my mother filed for me and I'm over 21 years old and my case is at the U.S. Embassy right now, when should we expect an interview date for my mother's citizenship?
Your case is at the U.S. Embassy. When should you expect your mother's citizenship? Your case at the embassy has nothing to do with your mother's citizenship. Your mother's citizenship is citizenship, and you getting your green card is something else, unless you're talking about you filed for your mother for her to get her green card at the U.S. Embassy. It's not her citizenship, it's her green card. When will she get it? I don't know. I don't make the calendar. They're very slow there right now.
And last one, Pipo Felipe, YouTube. If I'm in deportation but I'm still in the USA, could I qualify for Biden's most recent announcement regarding temporary protected status?
He's Haitian?
Does not say that.
If he's Haitian, yes. If you're not Haitian, no. Just for Haitians. All right. So Julie Schwietert Collazo is the co-founder and director of Immigrant Families Together. Julie's life was changed forever after a story she heard on the radio inspired her and her husband to create the nonprofit, which has raised millions of dollars to pay for the bonds and living needs of migrants who are navigating the United States asylum process. Let's watch. Immigrant Families Together is one of the most comprehensive foundations in existence assisting immigrants in need. The organization has raised almost $3 million in support for bonds, health care, and living essentials in order to ensure families can stay together and start a stable life in America without becoming a public charge. Founder and director Julie Schwietert Collazo started it all in 2018, and she joins me here today. Welcome, Julie, and thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
You started Immigrant Families Together in 2018. Tell me how you began this whole journey.
In the summer of 2018, as I was listening, as many people were, to the news about what was happening on the border with respect to separations of families, I became increasingly desperate to do something actually useful. And one day I heard a local attorney on our local NPR affiliate talking about his client who was in immigration detention in Arizona. And he said, look, she has 3 kids. They're in foster care in New York. She's in Arizona. She could be reunited with them if she had a way to pay her bond and she had a way to get from Arizona to New York. And I thought, well, that sounds really concrete and achievable. I had no idea what the bond was, but I felt that it would be possible to raise bond money and find a way to bring that mom from Arizona to New York. And that's how this started, really. The following Monday, I cold called the attorney. I found him pretty easily on Google. He answered on the first ring. I explained that I had heard him on the radio, and I said, look, I think that among my friends, we could raise the money for her bond and find a way to get her to New York York and back to her kids. And I said, would that be of interest to you and to her? And he just started laughing. And he said, of course it would be of interest because she has no way to pay this money.
Right.
And so I said, well, do we have your permission then to start a GoFundMe campaign? And he said, yes. And we started it on Monday, I believe it was June 25th, 2018. We found out the next day that her bond had been set at $7,500. By the time we found that out, we had already raised more than that. You can pay the bond anywhere in the United States. And so almost all of our bonds have been paid here at the office in New York. We didn't want to expose her to more law enforcement figures or people in authority who could frighten her, who may not speak Spanish, on her journey from Arizona to New York. And so what we did is we set up a cross-country network of volunteer drivers. People knew that we were fundraising for her, that we had been able to get her bond. Volunteers just appeared who were sort of first or second degree friends or acquaintances who said, look, I know somebody in Phoenix who could go pick her up, and I know somebody who can drive her from Phoenix to, Albuquerque, for example.
Right.
And we had an amazing volunteer, Megan Finn, who coordinated the transportation all the way across the country and just really quickly created this system of communication and monitoring to make sure that she was safe every step of the way, that she had homes to sleep in, people to feed her along the way. What Jenny remembers from that experience, it was sort of this healing moment in a way, or a journey toward healing, where, she had come here and she had been sort of met with all of these toxic aspects of America, right? And then all of a sudden, here are all of these people who are total strangers who are driving her for hours, welcoming her into their homes. She has said that it was important to help her understand that there were good people here who cared and wanted to help. And by the time she got to New York, this had attracted so much media attention that Cory Booker had come out to greet her and help her move her luggage for the last transfer in Newark. We had state and nationally elected officials who met her in New York to welcome her. It grew very, very quickly, and the donations continue to come in.
How's she doing right now?
She had her final hearing for the immigration court in North Carolina in September of 2019. She was denied asylum, so her case right now is in appeal.
Did you always work with immigrants, or is this new to you?
I'll just mention that my husband, who's the co-founder of Immigrant Families Together, is a refugee from Cuba who came here in 1980. So that's definitely always been a part of my adult life. Because I'm bilingual, I typically carried the Spanish-speaking caseload at the agencies where I worked.
What are you doing besides offering bond to immigrants?
Really early on, it was clear to us that we really had to provide comprehensive, continuous support as the family pursued their asylum claim. One of the reasons is because it takes so long for people to be able to get work authorization that how do you expect them to be able to take care of themselves and their family and not become a public charge while they're waiting for their asylum proceedings? So housing in many cases, if somebody didn't have family here who was going to be taking them in, legal counsel, medical, mental, and dental health, and transportation to and from essential appointments, and food, as well as then some logistical and getting kids enrolled in school. And so we assess each family's needs and then work with them to get those different categories of need met. Other barriers that I think are particularly relevant to these families is that it's difficult for them. They've just landed in a city where they don't know the transportation system, if there is one. In many cases, they're in places where they don't have access to public transportation. They don't know how to use it. They don't have money to access it. So they can't get to 3, 4, 5 different agencies to access different kinds of support. There's also the issue of childcare. If you need to go to 5 different appointments, you don't have somebody to watch your child.
Right.
So there were all these barriers to accessing all this support, even in cities like New York, where we have a really rich, varied social support system, right? But if you can't access it, then it means nothing to you.
So many people in detention, so many worthy people, and you can't bond everybody out. How do you choose?
So initially, because we were founded in response to the zero tolerance policy, our initial criterion was really just a single criterion, and that was whether somebody was a parent or a guardian who had been separated from a child. Since then, we've looked at and have provided support for 2 other primary categories of folks, which are LGBTQ and people with medical conditions that make them particularly susceptible to either permanent loss of some sort of functioning or potentially death by prolonged detention. And this has become particularly relevant, obviously, during coronavirus, because we've been providing a lot of logistical support to attorneys, for example, who are filing for humanitarian parole for folks who are at particular risk of becoming infected.
Poor person who comes and leaves with nothing from Guatemala or Honduras, they come here. If they have $10 in their pocket, they're lucky. What are the bonds that you first started seeing, and have they been increasing?
I wouldn't say they've been increasing, but I would say that they are not set with attention to somebody's ability to pay. I would say we have seen wild inconsistencies, and that we know that bonds are set based on whether somebody's determined to be a flight risk, these other variables, whether somebody's entered in before, whether they have a criminal history. But there really doesn't seem to be a rhyme or reason when we look across the board at the 120 bonds that we've paid, and we look at their flight risk, which is just an absurd criterion in and of itself, right? Somebody comes here fleeing, they're not going to flee somewhere else. Our lowest ones have been 1,500, and the highest one we've paid is 40,000.
40,000, right? It's crazy, right? For somebody basically in a similar situation. They came from a Central American country. They came and applied for asylum. They don't have a criminal record.
Right.
And they have what would presumably be a legitimate claim for asylum. So why would one be 1,500, one would be 40,000? Who knows? And bonds are to make sure you show up to court, as we were discussing. Has everybody showed up to court? Have you breached any bonds?
We've breached some bonds, yes. We're actually in the process right now of reviewing all 120 to see where they are in their process. We've had maybe 3 breaches. The breaches that happen are not always sort of willful. They are really confused. It's an incredibly opaque, confusing system, even for somebody who is well educated and is a citizen here and speaks English.
You're telling me I've been doing this for 35 years. So you've also raised to another $2 million to transport people across the United States to provide them assistance. Have you had difficulty to rally people to raise so much money?
A nonprofit often finds itself in the constant work of pursuing grants, right, and filing grant applications, and we certainly do that as well. But we've had a number of foundations come to us and say, we want to give you a no strings attached grant for you to use as you will. But I have to say that the majority of that money has come almost exclusively through small donors, right? And so it's really about the power of the collective. Some of my favorite stories are from a woman who sent $3 and said that it was the last money from her Social Security check and that she wished she could send more.
Wow.
And you see things like that, or you see kids selling their favorite books. It's incredibly moving and really shows that there are very, very many people who want to do something. They just want to be guided in terms of figuring out what it is that they can do that will be impactful.
Do families keep in touch with you after, they got a place to live and a job?
We do, yeah, we absolutely do. So we're in direct contact with most of the families, and from many of them, we hear from them even on a daily basis. We have 5 or 6 families here in New York where I live, and so we see them fairly regularly.
You've worked so closely with lots of people. What kind of trauma are they facing there?
There are certainly at least 2 categories of trauma, and one is the trauma that they experienced in their country of origin, which often will have to do with gangs or violence that's been perpetrated against them or by someone in their family. And then there's the trauma, I think, of the journey itself in many cases. We have some people, for example, who have walked through the Darien Gap to get here, which is just a terrifying journey. People who've ridden La Bestia, the train, to get here, who have seen, people fall off the train and lose limbs or even die. And, folks who've crossed deserts and been in trucks. And so I think the experience of getting here, certainly the family separation policy was extraordinarily traumatic for parents and guardians and the kids who were separated from them. More recently, for example, we've been working on a lot of cases of Cubans who've arrived here and, they've been detained for a year or longer. They just never expected they would even be detained. And so I think there's the trauma of thinking that you're going to this place that's really been sold to you as the land of the free and the home of the brave, and yet you're sitting for a year in an immigration prison and you haven't even committed any criminal wrongdoing.
Tell me some of the success stories.
So we have several people who've been granted asylum already.
Great.
A lot of the asylum cases, the final hearings are not even scheduled until 2022 or 2023. So some folks are waiting a really long time. But we've had a few folks be granted asylum already. I think one of the biggest success stories is the 6th mom for whom we paid bond. actually just has a book that came out in English and Spanish, published by Harper, about her journey and about the experience of separation and what prompted her to come here. And in full transparency, I co-wrote the book with her, but it really humanizes the experience of the migrant journey. And it's really her hope that the book will help shift the national conversation about the reasons why people come here and what they want to contribute here as well. She's also a success story because she is the co-president of her son's PTA here. She has also begun to look at ways of how she can sort of leverage the resources that she has developed here to provide some greater stability in her home community so that people don't have to feel like leaving is their only option. And so I use her as an example a lot because it really points out to, you know, every family that we're working with, not a single one of them wants to be a drain on American resources. They want to contribute. They're amazing neighbors. These are the kind of people that you want to be your neighbor. You want them to be a part of your community. They have so much to contribute.
Now, how can people help Immigrant Families Together?
Well, donations obviously are always the best way to help. So I was very resistant to becoming a nonprofit. But when we got to the point that we were raising so much money that we needed better mechanisms for accountability and transparency, that was really the only option that we felt was available to us. And so I think what people don't know about nonprofits is that it takes a lot of money to run them. None of us are salaried. I don't have a salary. My husband doesn't have a salary. None of our other folks are salaried. But it takes a lot of money to get your financials audited every year.
Right.
It takes a lot of money to have the taxes for a nonprofit done. And so there's a lot of money that's tied up in administration. And the fact that we really do provide this ongoing comprehensive support to families. We are the guarantors on probably a dozen apartments for families. And so there's sort of this open-ended long-term commitment to house them until they're able to be self-supporting. And as I was mentioning, because the work authorization permits take so long and the Trump administration has just been so relentlessly terrible, the ability for somebody to really establish themselves and become self-supporting is a much longer process than was the case in the past.
Yes. Do you find that people are anxious to get their work permits and work?
Extremely anxious. That's one of the first questions that they ask us is how can they get their work permit? When somebody has a work permit, that doesn't mean that they have a job that pays them a living wage. And you ask, you know, how can folks help? It's really to look at some of the bigger picture structural issues related to immigration and immigration policy in this country and advocate for things like a living wage, which affect immigrants enormously. Key thing to remember too is that all of these issues are tied together, right? So protesting right now in response to police brutality and deaths of Black men and Black women specifically are very much adjacent to and related to immigrant communities. I think also really looking at what are your local elected officials doing to be a welcoming community? Do you live in a sanctuary city? Does your local government have supports in place for asylum seekers? I think, you know, I personally was not particularly involved in local politics until IFT. I was much more interested in national politics. And what I've really come to understand through my work with this organization is how much political change can be led on the local level. And so I would really encourage people to get involved with their local politics and also with things like local PTA and local school board. Working on curricular reform, for example, and educational reform are also really important issues. They're all related to the immigrant, movement. Our website is immigrantfamiliestegether.com, and we are on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram as well.
What's your American dream?
What I would really love to see is a move away from these sort of puritanical values of like each person for themselves and sort of, like we're all starting from a level playing field. We're not starting from a level playing field. And really understand that some of the things that we're seeing now, like mutual aid and mutual care, to really understand that we're responsible for each other, right? And to look at that and not wait for leaders to rescue us or to right things, right? The greatest lesson of IFT for me has been that a group of people who don't necessarily have any particular special skills, who don't individually have great wealth, but collectively can collaborate to make things better for people. That's my American dream, is that we each sort of understand our role, not that this is something to be realized and implemented by somebody else or a politician, but it's really something for each of us to work on daily in our own communities in our own way.
Well, it's a great organization, and what an amazing success, and helps so many families. You bonded out over 120 people. Congratulations to you, Julie Schwietert Collazo. Appreciate your time on our show.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
All right, let's do speed round.
9 questions in 50 seconds. Fuzzy Monday. Let's be fuzzy and not blow me up. See what we can do. You ready?
Yes, sir. All right.
All right. 1 second. Julian has to put 50 seconds on the clock.
I see it up.
All right, let's go.
Does a non-household member co-sponsor have to file an I-864A?
Yes.
What do I file to adopt someone?
In I-600.
Did Biden change the law regarding same-sex marriages and their children born abroad?
Yes, for citizenship, he did.
What does TPS stand for?
Temporary protected status.
If undocumented, will I be deported if I file an adjustment?
No.
Can an undocumented person with a pending immigration case apply for a New Jersey driver's license?
No. Wait until you file the adjustment and get a work permit.
Can I drive a car in the U.S. while awaiting my marriage-based AOS?
Not legally.
Is a pathway of citizenship still being decided on?
Yes.
I had a withholding and removal training. Can I apply for a car?
I saw that blow up coming from 10 seconds away.
So close.
What was the last question?
I had withholding of removal granted. Can I apply for a green card?
No, you have to reopen your case. Damn.
Yeah.
Damn.
So close.
Damn.
Damn. All right. Comments of the day.
All right, our first comment of the day comes from Arturo Tovar saying, "You guys are a blessing. I love the show, and every day I learn something new."
Oh, thank you very much.
Okay, our next comment comes from Dorette Morris saying, "Lady, you should go see Brad. I had a similar situation, and Brad's team helped me to get the green card and also helped me become a citizen."
Very good, Dorette. Lady, listen to us, lady. Whatever lady she was referring to, I don't know, but thank you very much, Dorette, for the compliments and the nice review.
And our third comment of the day comes from Beast Don Raj saying, "Best immigration lawyer in the world, without a doubt. Good night, Mr. Brad."
Well, thank you very much.
And our last comes from Kimberlyn Burr saying, "Also boast about this show. If it's not Brad's show, it doesn't make sense. No disrespect, just the plain truth, cut above the rest." Oh, early week.
Facts, right? We didn't do that today, right? Fact. We didn't do that today. We'll do that. We'll do that on Wednesday because tomorrow, unfortunately, there will be no show. I have a high school graduation to attend. My daughter's. She's graduating high school, so they're doing the graduation right in the middle of our show. I can't change
Congratulations.
but I can't change an entire high school graduation for Bradshaw Live. I tried, but they refused. So I will be at high school graduation tomorrow. I'll be back on Wednesday. Thank you all for watching. We'll see you Wednesday. Fact. So Sam, as part of the production, we have to say this disclaimer at the end of the show. Do you mind reading it for me?
Okay, but you know, Brad, I have to do everything around here. It's bad enough I've got to remember everything that happened on the episode from the previous day.
Forget it. I'll do it. The proceeding was information only and not specific legal advice. Consult an attorney about your individual situation. Prior successful results do not guarantee a similar outcome in the future. To make an appointment with the Spar and Bernstein Law Firm located at 225 Broadway in New York City, call 1-800-529-5465. That's 1-800-529-5465. Easy to remember, 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-LAWLINK. Once again, make a call to 1-800-529-5465. And of course, link up with the law offices of Spar and Bernstein, located at 225 Broadway on the 5th floor. If I were you out there, make the call, make the link, make the connection, make it Spar and Bernstein. 1-800-LAWLINK. That's 1-800-529-5465. And now, conveniently conveniently located in Hartford, Connecticut on 1 Congress Street. Visit us in Connecticut or in New York at 225 Broadway. That's 1-800-529-5465. 1-800-LAW-LINK, 1-800-529-5465.